Okay. I look like I'm wearing pajamas. Yeah, I know. I'm wearing like my Aruba t-shirt. I look like I'm getting ready to go to bed. Okay. I'm off for work. I'm doing laundry, so that's why I'm dressed like this. Today I'm going back to my afternoon shift, and the sky is black, and you hear the thunder roll, and you see little raindrops come down, and they say we're gonna get a massive thunderstorm. So I put on boots, ready? Boots, a hooded short sleeve shirt, thick with the button collar, a hoodie, and the raincoat, which comes down to my ankles, which is in the car, by the way. I gotta get it out. And I go down there on my spot. The sun comes out and it's 80 degrees. And everyone's looking at me funny. And I'm like, remember last year when I didn't think it was gonna rain and I came without the raincoat and it poured? Well, now I'm doing the reverse. There was one incident last year, oh my God. I get down there, it ain't gonna rain. I'm down there. As soon as I get there, it starts pouring. And raincoat's at home. I had to stand in the rain with a hooded sweater that was getting drenched. And after that, I had to go to the dentist and sit in the dentist for an hour. Now that I've done my Pete rant, Emily gets her gun. I said I'd do a miniature review on it later on. Now, she does talk about, if you looked at her web series, she had a series. Google Emily Gets Her Gun, you'll see it. She had it published in her newspaper, the Washington Times, and she had it online. But she revisits that, goes into greater detail here and there, yada yada yada, etc., 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 about her getting her gun. Then she gets into the grunge of the gun control debate, and she talks about several stories that I talked about military veterans being arrested because they were coming home, or in one case going to a doctor's appointment. And they had a firearm in their vehicle. One gentleman, I did a video on him. He went to his parents' house in the People's Republic of New Jersey, got out his AR-15, his Beretta, and his 1911s, put them in his car, went to South Carolina, but on the way to South Carolina to his house, he stopped at Walter Reed in D.C. for a doctor's appointment, got arrested. Yeah. She said that police in D.C. are looking for casings. So you might live in Virginia and you might have a spent casing. It happens. I've come home with spent casings in my range bag. I've had incidences where I was in community college doing my armed guard course on Sunday. Monday morning I come to class, my pant legs too long, so I had them cuffed. Now, when I did my armed guard training on Sunday, I wore my pants, had the pant legs cuffed a little bit, a casing slid inside. And it was a casing that I fired through the instructor's XD-40. I only wore the pants for an hour and a half, so I wore them to class Monday. Casing was in my pant leg and it fell in the hallway before class. No one around though. Okay? I had an incident where I was at the range in my hometown, shooting my 1911. Casing went on my pant leg, my pant cuff stayed there, and ended up in the laundry. So you may live in Virginia, go to a range, have some brass casings, okay, and then a week later, the casings are rolling around your car, or they're on the dashboard, or they're in the cup holder, and you might even have your range bag, take stuff out of it, and use it as a suitcase or something like that. And you might be driving through D.C., and you might do a rolling stop and get caught by a cop. The cops in D.C., as they're writing a ticket, are trained to look in the car for spent casings. And a spent casing in D.C. is 1 year in jail for having a spent casing. Okay? I thought I'd bring that up. Thank you, truck. Ugh. Now, I want you to read the book. I don't want to spoil everything, but that's the one thing, because I don't want to find out that one of my viewers lives in Virginia and was taking a weekend to the DC and got pinched because he had a freaking spent casing in his truck or whatever. Now, she talks about a lot of incidents, new incidents, up-to-date stuff, the SAFE Act. She talks about, she said Japan, but I think she meant China. But I'm not sure. The day that Sandy Hook happened, there was a school janitor in China. She says Japan, but I think it was China. If I'm wrong, please correct me. That stabbed a whole bunch of kids. So gun control works. Yeah. She talks about the deadliest school massacre was 27 children being blown up by a school custodian in like the 1930s. Okay, so she talks about a lot of that stuff. She talks about all the shit that illegal mayors against guns do. I just got to show the autograph one more time. I am the 1%. Anyway, she talks about the SAFE Act. I'm going to get to an update in a minute. And you know how it is. And she said that no one thought when they did the SAFE Act that very few guns have 7-round magazines. So I went online and I corrected. I said, Emily, that was not a mistake. They did not accidentally pick a number that no one has. I said 7 rounds was done deliberately to disqualify most firearms by default. So, now on to the SAFE Act. The Tresvant case has a hearing on September 17th. Tresvant doesn't want it delayed, and neither does the judge. So, we're going to have a hearing on September 17th. The primaries yesterday, in my area, there was one primary between an independent and a write-in. 2 days ago, primary, I'm sorry. Independent versus a write-in. Democrat only, so I didn't have to vote. But a lot of places you did have to vote. Saratoga County, which is very pro-gun, elected, they had a primary for sheriff in Saratoga County. The primary was between a Republican sheriff who wants to support the SAFE Act and a Republican sheriff who wants to oppose the SAFE Act. The Republican sheriff who wants to support the SAFE Act won the primary in a pro-gun county by 400 votes. And a lot of guys like, I don't want to vote in the primary, I'll let the party decide. Well, yeah, rethink that line of thought. An anti-gun lunatic, Long Island, a pro-gun sheriff won in Suffolk County. I forget his last name. I'll check into it. Hold on 1 second. His name is Sheriff Vincent DeMarco. I love that name, Vincent. What a great fucking name that is. If you got one son, name him Vincent. That's what I say. Now, a lot of people on Long Island are very pro-gun. And the people on Long Island are saying, we're pro-gun, We own guns, we like guns, but the politicians are anti-gun. Well, you gotta change that. Also, in my county of Westchester, we have a lot of guns. We have like 50 times as many guns as New York City. And that doesn't count our long guns, which are unregistered, so the thugs ain't coming here. So you gotta get rid of those anti-gun politicians. Well, so you got a pro-gun county with a sheriff nominee who wants to support Cuomo. Not good. You got an anti-gun county where a lot of legislators refuse to oppose the SAFE Act. Some of them support the SAFE Act. A lot of them kiss Cuomo's ass. And the people elect a pro-gun sheriff who says, I will not support the SAFE Act. Okay, so that's that. And Cuomo, he had his period last week. And he forgot that he let his tampon in too long. And he's like, sheriffs don't get to decide what laws they enforce. Okay. How about we decide what laws we want to obey? How about we decide what constitutional amendments we want to obey? Okay? There is a thing called the Second Amendment at the federal level, which says right to bear arms shall not be infringed. At the state level, our New York State civil rights law says right to bear arms cannot be infringed. How about that? You ever see that in law school? No? No. We have a law that says before you pass the law, you gotta wait 3 days. You claim to be a Catholic. Andrew Cuomo is not a Catholic. He's not. He claims to be, but he's not. Okay? Because Catholics don't want to kill fucking babies. Okay? Catholics aren't like, I want to kill babies. It's alright. Okay? Cuomo was like, let's make abortion legal at 9 months. Her right, her body, her choice. Okay. So, a woman is 9 months pregnant, and she decides, like a week before the baby's due, that she's getting too sick of the pregnancy, and for health reasons, she wants a so-called doctor to take an assault drill, stick the assault drill up her pussy, and drill the baby's brain out, and then drag the baby's dead body out of her pussy, put it in a fucking biohazard bag, and you're like, that should be legal. That absolutely should be legal unequivocally. Because you have no right to impose on a woman's right to kill her fucking baby. To kill that fucking baby and drag the body out. But, if I have a magazine with 8 rounds in it, that is a crime against the state and I should be fucking imprisoned. The sad part is this is all completely true. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing, if Cuomo were alive in World War II, he would have supported Hitler. He would have fucking supported. Cuomo probably gets a boner when he thinks about Hitler. About, taking guns away from people that don't need them. And, saying people are unfit for it. Oh, motherfucker. Alright, gotta go. Buy our book. I endorsed it, buy it. Oh, by the way, should also talk about Ruger stock in here. It made a pretty big fucking profit. And I bought it. I bought it before I got this book, so read this book. Please read it. Read it and tell me you read it so I can tell her. Because I talked to her. So you read the book, Tell me you read it, and I'll tell her that you read it. And I'll be like, my viewers read the book.